This past week, our print-on-demand store did over $30,000 in sales. Now, this is our 12th week of running it as part of our print-on-demand challenge, where we're taking the store completely from scratch to over 7 figures in sales. And I'm doing this to show the step-by-step process so that you can follow it in your own business and hopefully recreate these same kind of results. That's why in this video, we're going to break down the sales from this past week and share exactly how we were able to skyrocket up almost 100% from the previous week. And later in the video, I'm even going to show the exact ads we're using along with our profit, so you can see exactly how much I'm taking home at the end of the day. Without further ado, let's jump into the numbers. So I'll start off with a little refresh for you so you know this is legit, no funny business. Alright, so starting off on the 18th, which was a Monday, which is typically our lowest sales day of the week, we were up 51% from the previous week. We did $3,400 in sales just about, and then on Tuesday we jumped up again to $4,100, and this is up 150 the previous week. And if you've been following this, you know that the last 2 weeks we were down on our projections, so we really had to pick things up. And I'm going to share in a second what we did that turned things around so dramatically, because they're going great now. Then on Tuesday, we did almost $4,300, which is up 145%. The previous week, we only did $1,700 that day. Then we came very close to hitting $5,000 in sales on the 21st. And then it dipped down slightly to $4,400 on the 22nd. Back up to $4,800, and then we finished out the week with a $4,400 Sunday. So all in all, not bad. But what were the other key stats for the store this week? We had a conversion rate of 2.64%. It's not bad. It's slightly higher than we had been seeing because it was up 15%. We had a dramatic increase in the number of orders, which you might say, yeah, duh, your sales went up by 61%. Another important number to notice is our returning customer rate, so the percentage of the sales that we had that came from customers that have already ordered from us in the past, was down 29%, which is, that's a little clue, means that it was not some magic that we worked in our email list or something like that to get people to come back in droves. It was something in the ads that we fixed. And your second clue is that the number of sessions increased by 35%. We were getting a lot more traffic to the site. Similar breakdown though, mobile versus desktop, far more mobile. It's always going to be that way. Predominantly Facebook, Instagram, tiny bit of YouTube, which I'm not even sure how we would be getting that. And before we jump into the ads and show you what is working so well, what's the new strategy we implemented, let's take a look at where we're at in the challenge overall. And to date, since starting on July 1st, we have done just under $160,000 in sales, which is pretty awesome because you know from the previous videos that we normally are at about a 20% profit margin, which means this is around $30,000 to $35,000 in take-home profit. And I want to emphasize again that while I know there are drop shipping videos out there that boast sales like 10, 20 grand in a single day, that they're able to start up just like that while those sales are possible, the flame that burns brightest burns out the fastest, something like that is the saying. But that's definitely the case with drop shipping. Those people, they find one product that hits really heavy, it generates a lot of sales, and it burns out, and then you have nothing. What we're building here is a brand that is not going to go like this and then that. It's going to go like this. It's the compounding value that we're building. It's the emails and the contacts and the customer list and the LTV and the product catalog that we're continually building out, and all the product expansion opportunities. So it's not a one and done type scenario. It's something that we're going to be able to continue to build on, and not only build on it and have it compound in our growth, but also be building brand equity in something that we could ultimately sell if we choose to. In our ad account, the week of the 11th to the 17th, we spent $6,300 at a 2.44 ROAS. And the week before that, we spent $5,700 at exactly the same ROAS. So we were holding relatively steady at a lower ROAS. Cost per click was 54 cents, and we were at lower spend. But then this past week, the 18th to the 24th, we spent over $7,000 at a 3.4 ROAS, which is a insane jump. Now, the good news is that this didn't require any marketing wizardry or anything else. All that I did was follow the exact system that I'm going to be sharing with you in a detailed 2-hour training. Just for now, know that if you follow this system that I'm going to map out for you, you can get results just like these, and it's honestly much simpler than you think. All that it requires is 2 things. Number 1 is making sure that you have good products that people want. Basically, do you have good designs for your products that are in a popular niche? And number 2 is testing a lot of creative. And the creative testing is honestly really easy, because I'm not a graphic designer. I'm not a super creative personality, so I'm not in like Canva for hours on end. All that I do is I take my procedurally generated mock-ups and throw them into Facebook ads and let Facebook turn them into carousels, slideshows, different formats, and see what works best. But it just takes time. It takes hours to upload all of them and click through it. I can probably outsource this eventually, but as of now, I'm the only one doing it. So you can watch that detailed training to learn the step-by-step piece, but I'll give you the Cliff Notes version now. It's that I had my campaign structure here really just comes down to these main campaigns. And I had ads in my testing library, basically my bullpen, that while the rest of these campaigns were running normally, like the ones that are actually spending the most amount of money, see like $3,000, $1,500. This one's less than half of them, and it's normally honestly less than even that. The testing started doing so well that I just started increasing the budgets on them. But basically, I have a bullpen of ads that are on deck waiting for when my current winning ads burn out. The reason I do that is that as soon as they burn out, which will happen, creative fatigue is inevitable, because people will get hit with your ad again and they'll get tired of it, and Facebook will stop pushing it out to new people because performance will start to dip. You want to have new ads that are ready that are just sitting there that you're able to copy and paste right into the account to pick up the slack. And this past week is an exact testimony to that strategy working well. Because the one change that I made was I saw that my performance had been dipping consistently for the past 2 weeks. So I went into the testing library and grabbed one of the winning products that I have in there, which I have at least 5 or 6 sitting there right now, and I copied it to the other campaigns. So this is inside of one of the campaigns that I copied it into. I can't show the ad set name because that would give away the brand, and there's lots of little copycats out there. But anyway, so I have 4 ads in each ad set, and I noticed that 2 out of the 4 weren't spending like at all. That means that Facebook has identified them as just losers, or at the very least worse than all the other ads in the ad set. So when my performance started dipping, I just went into the ad set and took those ads out and plugged in the new one. And I plugged it in across all 4 of these. And what do you know, overnight, that winning ad started getting all of the spend across all of these ad sets. So that's how you're able to quickly turn around your ad account. Basically just comes down to testing and more testing. There's no sexy one silver bullet answer to it, but it works. So that's how I turned around the ad so quickly. And now let's take a look at the profits and see how darn worth it is to have turned things around by putting in the effort in the ad account. Something happened to the recording, so now we have a new hoodie. But anyway, this past week for our top line sales, we did $32,801.70. Then quickly deducted from that, however, is our discounts and refunds, which we did $2,556.35, which the majority of that comes from the fact that we're giving away a 15% discount, which is driving a lot of sales, so I'm pretty okay with that. And our next largest expense is Printify, which is $13,694.82. Beautiful. We're making them a lot of money. Moving on to our merchant fees, which these are the transaction fees, we spent $1,052.08. Facebook ads cost $7,119.24. Google was $215.59. Overhead has remained relatively consistent and is $83.33 per day, which comes out to $83 for the week. Then we have our Printify rebate for 5%, which came out to $479.30. And my favorite credit card, aside from the Amex Gold card, because it gives 4x points, is the Capital One 2% cash back, which this week earned us $432.26. Which brings us to a grand total profit in our pocket at the end of the day of $8,491.84, which is pretty exciting because it's a massive leap up from the previous week, and it's roughly a 30% margin for us, which is really strong. And our overall return on ad spend, including everything, was about a 4.12, which is really strong. And our cost of goods sold was about 43%. We like it to be closer to 40, but 43% is tolerable. When our prices were lower, we were at like 50+%. You just can't really make money that way. We're happy with where things are at. Now, the keys for moving forward and making sure that this continues is diversifying our traffic and getting ready for Black Friday, Cyber Monday that's coming up. And this is exciting, but we're still obviously a pretty far way off from our goal of 7 figures, but we're certainly on the right track. But my plan is to get there with you guys coming along with me, sharing the journey and experiencing the highs and lows and showing you everything, and especially answering the questions you guys have, which you can leave in the comment section down below. Anything you want to know, more than happy to share and make this as useful for you guys as possible. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.